Happy April Fool's Day. So, I've been wondering about how Ray and James met and how they started their Who Would Win show. And based on various sources, I've come up with my own little origin story. I hope you enjoy. And this is the Ray's Right podcast, and I am your host, Guama Harrisonell, with the Guama version of the Who Would Win show origin story. So, James Gatsby was at work doing producer stuff when suddenly a proud looking man wandered into his open office door, head held high. "Oh, man," James complained. "I should have closed my office door." The proud man scoffed. "It doesn't matter," he proclaimed quite loudly. "I walked into the wrong room anyway." James smirked. "Oh, so what room were you planning on entering anyway?" Well, you see," stammered the proud man, "I was looking for the tavern." "The tavern," James repeated sardonically. "Right. Yeah," said the proud man. "I am right." James suddenly took notice of the proud man's shirt. It said, "Ray is right." James sighed. "Let me guess. You're Ray, right?" "Of course I am!" shouted Ray. "Why would I wear a shirt that says someone else is right?" James ignored him. "Anyways," James said coolly, "I think you want to find a bar, not a tavern." "No!" screamed Ray. "I want to find a tavern, and I want to find one now. I just moved to LA from Detroit, and I can't find anything here except for a cajillion frozen yogurt restaurants." James grinned. "Oh, wow, I love froyo. Do you want—" "No!" Ray roared, interrupting. "I want to go to the tavern." Suddenly, there was a noise outside that was even louder than Ray's shouting. Can you believe it? Ray and James ran outside to find the source of the incredibly loud noise. It was King Kong charging through the streets of Los Angeles towards El Matador Beach. Ray and James looked at each other incredulously and screamed and ran into James's car. "Did you see that?" "Awesome!" Ray hollered, even more excited than usual. "Yes," James said, looking unruffled for the first time that day. "We gotta get over there." James floored it and burned rubber on his way to El Matador Beach. Once there, it didn't take long for an extremely large, fire breathing lizard to emerge from the depths of the Pacific. "Ah! It's Godzilla!" Ray and James shouted simultaneously. James regained his composure first. "Well," he said, "I think it's safe to say that Godzilla will win this one easily." Ray gasped, aghast. "Are you kidding me? King Kong is going to be the obvious winner of this match." King Kong tossed Godzilla far into the Pacific Ocean. "See?" Ray proclaimed triumphantly. Hashtag Ray is right. James laughed. "I wouldn't be so sure about that." King Kong jumped in after Godzilla, where Godzilla jumped out of the water and grabbed King Kong. They both disappeared into the ocean with an enormous splash. "Oh man," said Ray. "Now we'll never know." James looked at his phone. "Hey, there's a tavern about 10 miles away. Do you want to go?" Ray's mood instantly brightened. "Yas, fam!" he shouted, overjoyed. So Ray and James got some drinks and snacks at the tavern, when suddenly Ray asked, "But who do you think would win in a fight between Abraham Lincoln or George Washington?" And then they started arguing again, which got the tavern patrons very interested as they gathered around the new friends' fascinating conversation. And Ray and James have been arguing the question who would win ever since. The end.